here, and I just want to welcome you back to Hometown Kids Online. Man, we sure miss seeing your smiling faces and getting to hang out with you on the buses and in our church. And we're praying that this will end soon, that God would just miraculously take care of this coronavirus and that we can be back to normal life very soon. But until then, we want you to know that we're going to be continuing to do this because we want to bring an encouraging word into your home every single week. So I hope that you're watching, and we also hope that as you start to watch this each week, that you will hit the share button and that you will share this on your Facebook or whatever social media you're watching from so that other people can see it and they too can hear an encouraging word during these crazy times that we're living. So help us with that if you would. And can I just say to you and your families, if there is a way that we as a church family can help your family, please let us know. You can give me a call, you can message me on Facebook, but we would love to have the opportunity. But if we don't know about it, we can't help you. So please, if there's something we can do, we would love the opportunity to see if we can help, if it's possible. All right, also, before we move on, make sure that you put your name in the comment bar so we know who's watching. Parents, this is not for you. This is for all kids. That anybody that is watching during the live part of this, that they can put their name in there for a chance to win a prize. And I just delivered last week's prize to Keyshawn, and we got to see his smiling face and from a distance, and but glad to be able to do that. And so also anybody that puts their name in will get some Hometown Kid bucks. Now I know that's just for local kids who are a part of our program. And when we get back, you'll be able to spend those dollars in the prize store. And some of you are already accumulating 5 weeks worth of extra dollars for the prize store. So, man, we're glad that you're here tonight. We're going to continue in our story. Last week we took a break for Easter. This week we're going to go right back on to the roller coaster life as we look at the life of Elijah. And tonight we're going to be talking about miracles. So pay attention and let's have some fun together.
It's me again, and I'm ready to take you for another ride on the roller coaster life. Have you ever heard of God doing a miracle? You know, maybe somebody was sick, then they prayed and God healed them. Or maybe you knew somebody who couldn't walk, then they prayed and God healed them, and now they can walk. Pretty cool, huh? God is a God of miracles. Today, we're going to learn about a miracle that God did in Elijah's life. It involved the son of the widow we learned about last time. You remember, she gave Elijah some food? Well, God did a miracle for that widow's son, and it was incredible. You know, there are a lot of people who say that God just doesn't do miracles anymore. They say that He stopped doing miracles a long time ago. It's very sad, because those people just continue to live in their terrible situations instead of calling on God for help. Elijah knew that God was the one to call on when he needed a miracle. So can you. If you're sick, hurting, whatever, just call on God and He will answer when you call. He hears us when we pray, and He will show up with a miracle just in time. Speaking of just in time, you're just in time to watch me ride the gauntlet. It's 2,200 feet of roller coaster insanity that goes up to 50 miles per hour. All while hanging below the roller coaster's tracks. Are you ready? Let's go. Oh yeah, adrenaline pumping, feet dangling. This is the very definition of a thrill ride. Let's do this. Woo! Wow, we are dangling way up here. Here we go, we're about to go. Whoa, here we go! Oh yeah, that was amazing. And now it's time for you to get into your lesson about how God did an amazing miracle through Elijah and how God will still do miracles for you. I'll see you next time on The Roller Coaster Life.
And now, it's time for the announcements.
Hey kids, don't forget to put your name in the comment bar below. This is a chance for us to know who's watching, and we'll give you some Hometown Kids bucks for the bank, so when we get back together, you'll have money for the prize store. Also, it can be a chance for you to win a cool gift card from Walmart. We also want you to know that you can find us on YouTube, and all of our services are there. Also, we would love for you to share our events on social media so that you can let all of your friends know what's going on with Hometown Kids. This Sunday afternoon and every Sunday afternoon, we will be sharing a link on Facebook to Pastor Kyle Joris's church page. Many of you will know Pastor Kyle from last year's camp. Well, we will be joining their Sundays kids services every Sunday at 1 p.m. Hey, don't forget to mark your calendar for June 15th through the 19th because that's the week we go to kids camp. Sign up today with Pastor Robbie if you are interested in going or just want more details. Also, mark your calendars for July 27th through the 31st. This is our biggest week of the summer, our VBS. This year's theme will be the Minion Olympics.
And that's it for the announcements. It's now time to stand up and sing.
Sin couldn't stop, and the grave not there, no. Really wish I could have seen it for show. When they looked in the tomb, they were asking everybody, yo, where did he go? Cause he's not here. And the soldiers out there, looking all spooked while they're trembling in fear, asking each other what really happened out here. J-E-S-U-S, one day, put to death, third day, rose again, power in his hand with a master plan. He already knew before the world begins, and he wants you to know he's coming again. So go run and tell your family, friends, Jesus is alive, yo, sing it again.
He is alive. He is alive. My Lord, my Redeemer is alive. He is alive. He is alive. My Lord, my Redeemer is alive.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Ah, yeah, what's up, everybody? It's me, the SKI to the double TLES, Skittles in the hizzy, and I'm ready to tell you what's up. Today, we are talking about how God still does miracles. So anytime today somebody asks you what's up, you tell them, I believe God does miracles. Oh yeah, you know God does miracles. After all, he's the God who created the world. He created rain. Oh man, anybody got an umbrella? He created monkeys. Hey, what are you doing? Bananas are over there. And he created earthquakes. Whoa, 10.0 on a Richter scale. Oh yeah, you know if God can do all that, he can do anything. Miracle after miracle, he shows himself to be powerful. So anytime somebody asks you what's up, you tell them, I believe God does miracles. And that's what's up. I got a rainbow of flavor and I'm living for my savior. Skittles out, baby, yeah. Hey yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
It's time for the offering. And as you know, it's kind of hard to put your money into the camera or to the TV or your phone. So here's what we're doing during this time of staying at home. So we get your buddy barrel or a cup, whatever, and if you want to make something really creative, man, I'd love for you to take a picture and send it to me so I know what you're doing. But find a place that you can keep your money separate from other money, and this is money that we're setting aside to help with our missions project that I'm going to be telling us about in just a few minutes. But we want you to save your money, and I got a cup, and I keep my dollars in the cup, and I keep my change in my buddy barrel. And I want to tell you about a cool new thing that they've come out with. It's an app that is called the Buddy Barrel app. And you can track your giving, set your goals, read stories about missionaries, and see how you are helping kids all around the world just by using the Buddy Barrel app. So when we all finally get to come back together at the church, we're all going to bring the money that we've saved and we'll put it into the offering together. And that will be a special day when we get to be together and we can all bring our offering for our missions project. Can I just say thank you for all that you are doing. I love you, and man, I think you are awesome.
Hey yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Hey kids, what time is it?
So who do you think will win?
Hey guys, we're gonna play a game called Smooth Moves.
Where I make a move, then you make it too. Everybody stand up, and as long as you can match my moves, you're in the game. But if you can't keep up, you gotta sit down. Here's the first move. That was pretty easy, right? Well, round 2's gonna be just a little bit harder. Yeah! Pretty good, but now let's try on round 3. You guys have done pretty good so far, but now let's get advanced with level 4. Let's see how you do.
Hey, yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Hey boys and girls, it's me again, Buster, ready to teach you another awesome power verse. You ready, Slappy? I know you's ready. Today's power verse says, come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performs for people. Psalm 66:5. Oh my word, what a bustastic power verse. You know what's even more awesome than that? Getting the boys to stand up and say the power verse with me on the count of 3. You ready? Come on, boys. 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performs for people. Psalm 66:5. Good job, boys. You can have a seat. Go on, take a load off. Now I need my girly girls to stand up and say the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. You ready, girls? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performs for people. Psalm 66:5. Good job. All of you can have a seat. Now, boys and girls, did you know that God still does miracles even today? He's not done doing them. He's got so much power. Why would he stop doing miracles way back in Bible days? He can still do miracles in your life today. All you gotta do is ask him. Now that you know that, I need the boys and the girls, everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performs for people. Psalm 66:5. Good job, boys and girls. You can have a seat. Hey, it's been awesome teaching you today's power verse, but you want to know what time it is? time to bust stuff. Oh yeah, boys and girls, me and Slappy are really pumped up for this one. We're gonna milk it for all it's worth. You ready? I know I am. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Does a body good!
Hey yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles He performed for people. Psalm 66:5.
All right, it is time for our missions project, and I just love the missions project that we are working on right now. We are sending kids to a very special camp called Jackson's Ridge in the country of South Africa. We did this exact same project 3 years ago, and we were asked to send 120 kids to this camp. A pastor over there by the name of Pastor Posh found 120 kids that he took to this camp. Many of them when they got there, they had never seen a fork before. They had never eaten meat before. They had no idea what dessert was. They were used to one meal a day. Very impoverished kids. And he invited them to this camp. They had no way of paying for themselves to be there. So he asked churches in America, and our group responded, and we paid for many of those kids to be there. And then the extra bonus was that I got to go along, and I paid my way to go so that I could go, and along with some other children's pastors, and I got to be one of the speakers at that camp. So during the day, I was one of the activity directors, and I got to teach archery. I bet you didn't know I was an archery expert. Neither did I. But we had a lot of fun during the day with all kinds of incredible things happening at the camp. And then throughout the day, we had services with the kids. And what an amazing thing. For many of them, it was the first time they had ever heard about Jesus. And many of them came and surrendered their life to Christ. And many incredible things happened in that altar, and lives were changed. I've reached out to Pastor Posh. He's a friend of mine. I've asked him to get some testimonies from some of those kids. They also are going through the coronavirus in their country as well, and so it may be a while before he's able to do that, but hopefully we'll get to hear from them. But even before we get to hear from them, I'm going to ask you to think about something. I'm going to ask you to think and pray about, could you send one kid to camp? Could you personally send one kid? That would be $100, and I know, man, that's a lot of money. And how would I do that? Well, I don't know. Some of you guys last year sold $100 in bracelets. Some of you colored pictures and you sold them and you made money for that. So I'm not sure exactly, and we'll give you some ideas as we go along on how you can do that. But I just wanted you to ask, would that be your goal? Just this spring and summer, would you commit to raising $100 to helping a kid go to camp? Let me ask you to do this. Would you take some time and pray? Pray and ask God, what would you have me do? Whatever He tells you, that's what you should do. I know that I'm asking for each of you to raise $100, but you do whatever God tells you to do. And you know what? I know some of you could do more than $100. You are some of the most creative kids I have ever met on the planet. And last year and the year before, some of you came up with some incredible ideas of raising money for missions. So if you do something, I want you to take pictures along the way so we can share them later of what good things that you did during this time to be able to raise some money and help some kids get to summer camp so that lives can be changed. And can I just say thank you? Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for making a difference in other people's lives. You guys are awesome.
does miracles.
Everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performed for people. Psalm 66:5.
Gather round, it's story time from a very special book. Real people and God's miracles. Come on, let's take a look. The Bible, it's the book you can always trust.
Hey Hometown Kids, it's Pastor Robbie bringing you another Bible story. Tonight we're going to continue the story of Elijah. You can find the story in the Old Testament in 1 Kings chapter 17. Remember where we left off? Elijah was at a widow's house and God was providing flour and oil for her every day so that she could prepare bread for her and her son and for Elijah so that they wouldn't starve. It seemed that Elijah was on a high point on his roller coaster. God had been providing food. Things were going great. He was teaching the widow about God and the things of God. Everything seemed to be going swell. But then something happened. The widow's son became ill. She didn't know what was wrong, and there was nothing that she could do. She called out for Elijah, but before he could get there, her son had died. She was overcome with grief that her only son was gone. She didn't know who to turn to. She became angry at Elijah and blamed him, saying, "Why have you done this to me? What do you have against me?" Of course, this wasn't Elijah's fault, and he had nothing against her. He only wanted to help her after all of the care that she had given him. Elijah knew exactly what he needed to do. He picked up the young boy and carried him up the stairs of the house. He laid the boy down on the bed in the upstairs room, and he began to pray. Not just any old prayer like you would pray at a meal, but this was calling out to God and praying as hard as he could. He cried out to God, "Oh Lord my God, let this boy's life return to him." Elijah knew that God is a God of miracles. He knew that God had power over every sickness and every disease, even death. After Elijah prayed, guess what happened? The boy woke up and came back to life. Elijah called to the boy's mother. "The boy is dead, but now he is alive." The mother was full of joy. She understood now that a miracle had taken place, and that God had power over death, and that Elijah was a man sent from God. Once again, Elijah went from a low point on his roller coaster to a very high point. It was a day of miracles.
Hey yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performed for people. Psalm 66:5.
Your hope is the anchor for my soul. When waters rise, your hand will not as we know. You are with us. Jesus Christ, the same today, forever, firm beneath my feet forever. I trust in you. I trust in you. All my life is in you. Your power, your strength, God, you will not delay. In every storm you reign. Your power, your strength, God, you will not delay. In every storm you
Hey, yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performs for people. Psalm 66:5. Good job.
Tonight's lesson, a God of miracles.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about pain. Now pain is so difficult. Have you guys ever experienced, I know one time in my own personal life, I actually yesterday was playing basketball and it wasn't the most painful thing in the world what had happened to me, but it was pretty painful. It was discomfortable, we'll just say. But I was playing basketball and I shot wrong and the ball just landed on my finger and it made my finger a little sore for the rest of the night. But talking, for instance, like have you guys ever had a broken arm or a broken leg? You know, that type of pain. We all experience pain on the roller coaster of life. But it's how we eventually learn to navigate it and deal with it. And there's always going to be periods of highs and lows and ups and downs in our lives, but it's who brings us through at the end of the day, and that's Jesus. But just like we read in the story today, the widow had suffered such a great deal of pain. Like it was such an experience, but it wasn't like breaking your arm or having a broken leg. It was like the pain of losing somebody you love. She lost her son to death. And that was so difficult for her. So today I want to learn about a couple of lessons that pain can give us. Sometimes pain causes us to question God. That's one of our lessons that we just want to make clear in this. Sometimes pain truly in life, I'm not going to act like I've never questioned God when I've gone through a difficult pain in my life. I mean, it happens. And, you know, like when a loved one dies, our grandma dies, our grandpa, when our mom or dad leaves or they get a divorce, like that difficult pain in our lives sometimes allows questions to burst out of us of, why God, why does this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? I thought I've been good to you. I thought I've been faithful. But the widow had these questions. She came and she asked God, she's like, God, why did this happen to my son? And she had so many questions, and she brought them forth to Elijah and Jesus. And guess what? The good thing about it was Elijah didn't judge her, or he didn't blame her for asking these questions, and neither did Jesus. Jesus didn't condemn her for asking these questions or anything like that, but he welcomed the questions. He was like, I can take it all. I am who I am. And these questions can't change that, but they can just really bring truth to that. I'll welcome the questions because I'm ready to give you answers of who I am. I want you to experience who I am through all of this. And I know the pain is hard, but guess what? We learn to navigate it. And in this life, pain is all around us. but it's really how we choose to deal with it and who we choose to deal with it with.
But I wanted to share with you guys what the power verse for this week is. It is, come and see what our God has done, what awesome miracles he performs for people. Psalm 66:5. And I encourage you guys this week to dwell on it. Try and remember it. Encourage people with it. Even try to remember it, memorize it, and remind yourself of it throughout the day, but also share it with your family members.
And guess what the good news is? God has power to do miracles. God still has power to do miracles. I was reading in the Bible about this widow and how Jesus raised her son back to life. Like, what? That's just huge. Like, if I saw somebody resurrect from the dead, I'd probably be like, or be brought back from the dead, I'd probably be like, what just happened? Like, that is the most craziest thing. But God is a God of today, yesterday, and tomorrow. He doesn't change. He's constant. And that's what I love about him, because I've seen him work miracles. I have stories of seeing miracles happen, literally. And it's just been so amazing because I've gotten to share that part with some of my friends, and it's been awesome. It's been rewarding to see. But guess what happened when the widow, her son was just raised back to life? All their questions disappeared. Because in that moment, she knew who God was, and she knows that he has the power to do anything he wants and everything in this world. And he works for our good in the most painful situations. And his plan always prevails for our lives. And you know, sometimes we may need miracles in our lives. Others that we know may need miracles in our lives where they got a bad doctor report, where they just found out they were diagnosed with cancer, where they fell and they broke a hip or something like that, and something really bad has happened to them, and you're just like, oh, I know they need a miracle. Let me just encourage you, start praying for that miracle. Because I know that God can do it, and I hope you do too, and you learn throughout your life that God can do whatever he wants. And he is a good God, even through the bad and even through the pain. But I want to encourage you also, if God doesn't perform the miracle, he still is good. But he still can perform a miracle. So we can have faith to trust in that promise. And guess what? Miracles cause other people to believe in God. And I don't know about you, but like I just said, if I was there that day when the widow's son was brought back to life by Jesus, I would have been like, okay, Jesus, I believe in you wholeheartedly. Like, I just seen the evidence and the proof that you are real and you do have power, so I believe in you. But sometimes with other people and with ourselves, when we have those difficult questions of why is this happening? What did I do to deserve this? Why is this bad thing? Why can't it go away in my life? Sometimes when we bring those questions to God, it deepens our relationship with him. I'm not saying always, but I'm saying sometimes when we learn to run to Jesus with our most difficult pain, that's where we find the most comfort. And we can run to all these outlets in the world and we can ask questions to other people, but at the end of the day, we have a God who knows all the answers. And so when you bring those questions to him, it doesn't scare God. It doesn't worry him. He doesn't have to question his identity because you're asking, Lord, why would you do this? He knows who he is and he knows that he works for your good. So he knows that those questions can be brought to him and he can give you the answers. He can give you the replies. He can give you the responses. And sometimes, in our lives we're not hit with miracles. But sometimes we can see miracles throughout all the little things. And I think it's great because Jesus is ready to do a miracle in our lives. He's ready to do a miracle in yours. He's ready to do a miracle in your grandma's. He's ready to do a miracle in your family's relationship and your grandpa's. He's ready. So are you willing to give those questions to him and ask? Because he's a God who is limitless. And his love for you is great and grand, and he knows who he is. And he's ready to help you navigate who you are through him and through the difficulty of pain in your life. So believe and trust God for a miracle. And even if He doesn't, He is still great. And He works for your good.
So tonight, we're talking about miracles. And we just heard the story of Elijah and the widow and the widow's son. And what an incredible miracle that God used the prophet Elijah to, in a very dark time, do an incredible miracle of raising her son back to life. Well, I don't have a testimony like that, but I want to share with you the testimony of when I first discovered that God heals. Now, I was 8 years old. I was living in Iowa at the time, and I had been playing with my siblings. I believe it was on Memorial Day. It was a holiday. We were all together. There was 5 of us. We were being crazy like kids do, cooped up in the house for whatever reason. And my oldest brother was on his back with his legs up, and we would sit on his feet, and then he would push up and throw us through the air. Well, so we were just taking turns doing that, and somehow I fell wrong, and I ended up breaking my arm and having to go to the hospital to get a cast put on. And so my mom took me to the hospital. I got a cast on, and because I was a very active 8-year-old, they put that cast on up there so I would not be able to move my arm. So I was not allowed to do anything extra. Couldn't ride my bike. How do you tell an 8-year-old he can't ride his bike? Well, the first opportunity I had, which was about 2 or 3 weeks later, I was riding my bike. I wasn't supposed to be. My parents didn't know. I had taken my bike and kind of snuck away. One of my friends was with me, and we were about a block from my house, and I was in front of my friend, and he hit my back tire with his front tire, and I lost control of my bike, and I fell into the curb of the street and knocked my head and knocked myself unconscious. And so in that time, my mom came, they got me to the hospital, and it was more serious than the hospital where I was at. So they took me by ambulance to the bigger hospital nearby, and there I was, just really needing a miracle from God and not even knowing that God did miracles. And I remember our pastor of our church, he drove the hour, whatever it was, to get to that hospital, and he came into that hospital room, and he told me that God heals. And he told me some stories, and I remember him saying, "Can I pray for you?" And he prayed a simple little prayer of, "God, would you heal John? Would you heal this head injury?" And can I tell you that God healed me? And within just a couple days, I was able to go home, and I knew then, and have carried that throughout my whole life, I know that God heals. And so I just want to encourage you today that, hey, you don't have to think, oh, this happened with Elijah a long time ago. But I want you to know that God still heals people today. And maybe today you need a miracle for your family, and we want to pray a prayer of faith over you that God will touch you and heal you, or whoever we're praying for, because we serve a God who still heals and does miracles. Let's just pray. Father, I thank you for every boy and girl, for every teenager, for every leader, for every adult that's watching. And Father, we are human, and we have many needs in our lives. But I just pray today that you would show each family that you are still a miracle-working God. Whether it's a miracle of provision, a miracle of healing, a miracle of restoring a relationship, whatever it may be, God, I pray that you would show yourself to be the one true God. And I pray, let them see the miracle that you want to do in their lives. And Father, I thank you. And Father, I pray that if there's those listening and they need to put you first in their lives, I pray that tonight that they would surrender to you, and that you would come in and be the Lord of their life. as they call upon you, may you hear their prayer and come to be with them. And Father, I just pray for all of our families that are connected to our church, whether they're listening to this or not, Father. I pray that you will help each one through these days. Father, I pray for moms and dads who are home and kids are there with them, and I know that that brings extra stress into that home. And I pray for those who are struggling with that. And I pray that you will help them, Father. Help them have a plan for getting through the days and making it so that instead of just getting by, that they are thriving because you are the center of their home. And Father, I thank you for your blessing upon our church and our church family and all our Hometown Kids family. We love you and we give you praise tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, we love you and we are praying for you. We're going to do one more thing and then we're going to come back and we're going to do our drawing to see who wins tonight. So hang on, we're not quite done yet.
Hey yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles he performed for people. Psalm 66:5. Good job, boys.
And now it's time to see if you can remember what we learned. It's time for brain drain, brain drain, brain drain, brain drain, brain drain.
Question 1. What's up? I believe in God. I believe God does miracles. Or, I believe you. The answer is, I believe God does miracles. Question 2. What was the name of the roller coaster that Brian rode today? The Gauntlet, X-Coaster, or the Roller Derby? The answer is the Gauntlet. Question 3. What happened to the widow's son at the beginning of our Bible story? He fell down? He got sick and died? Or he got in trouble? The answer is he got sick and died. Question 4. Who did the widow blame for her son's death? His brother, Elijah, or Abraham? The answer is Elijah. Question 5. Where did Elijah take the boy after he died? To lay him on the upstairs bed? To the hospital? Or to a funeral? The answer is Elijah took the boy to lay him on the upstairs bed after he died. Question 6. After Elijah prayed, what happened to the widow's son? Nothing. He cried, or he came back to life. The answer is he came back to life. Question 7. According to our lesson today, sometimes pain causes us to ache, hurt, or question. The answer is, sometimes pain causes us to question. Number 8. According to our lesson today, God has the power to do miracles, tricks, or nothing. The answer is miracles. God has the power to do miracles. Question 9. According to our lesson today, blank causes others to believe in God. People cause others to believe in God? miracles cause others to believe in God, or the Bible cause others to believe in God? The answer is miracles cause others to believe in God. And finally, number 10. Where was our power verse found? Psalm 119:11, Psalm 66:5, or 2 Corinthians 9:8? The answer is Psalm 66:5.
Rain drain, 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 rain drain.
Hey, yo, what's up? I believe God does miracles.
Everybody to stand up and do the power verse with me and Slappy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come and see what our God has done. What awesome miracles He performs for people. Psalm 66:5.
All right, I'm back for one more thing, and here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reach my hand into those that watched last week live, either on Facebook or on YouTube, and their names are in here. We're going to draw one name, and that person's going to win a Walmart gift card. So we'll try to get that to you. We'll do that in a safe way so that you can get that without having any kind of contact, but we want to make sure that somebody's going to win a prize. So let's do this. Get them all stirred up here. Alright, I got one. The winner is Michaela Hitchcock. Congratulations, Michaela. We'll be getting that gift card to you. And remember, everybody won Hometown Kids bucks. So you all got that. And we're excited that you're here. Hey, remember, when this is over now, can you go back and can you share this with somebody and say, hey, you need to watch this? We want to get more kids watching because we want everyone to hear the good news about Jesus Christ. Love you. We're praying for you. And again, if there's anything we can do to help, just let us know. We love you. Bye-bye.
Rain,